Välkommen, tervetuloa! Welcome to Brawl Stars, Finland and Sweden.
Og til alle dere i Norge, velkommen til Brawl Stars. Jeg heter Kairos and I, og i dag skal vi snakke litt om Brawl Stars.
Bro, I like studied up saying welcome, and here you go just blowing me out of the water. Wait, make me look bad.
That's right. For those of you guys who don't speak Norwegian, welcome Norway as well to Brawl Stars. We're super excited to have you here. We're going to talk a little bit about Brawl Stars today, and we got some exciting news, right, Lex?
Yeah, absolutely. So what happened was that Ryan Lighton, the community manager from Brawl Stars, he did an Ask Me Anything on Reddit, and they go over some really big questions, everything from global release to how much money you're spending in the game, new brawlers, new game, just lots of stuff. So we're going to cover all of that stuff and more. So stick around because you're not going to want to miss it. All right, so as you just heard, we've got 3 new countries that can play Brawl Stars. Well, at least officially, all of us Canadians, we are also playing Brawl Stars. But officially, Sweden, Finland, and Norway can play Brawl Stars. It'll be in the iOS in your app store, so go check it out because I'm super excited you guys can play with us. They announced that today in the Ask Me Anything. And, of course, the big question on everybody's mind is global release. When's it coming? Well, that's the first question that we want to address today is what Ryan addressed. One of them is that somebody asked him, hey, when's global release? When it's happening? How do you feel about global release on a scale of 1 to 10? And here was his answer. He said, 1 to 10 scale is really hard. I don't want to guess and think each person on the team would probably have different answers. Instead, we'll go into a bit more depth on our current thinking. We still have not made a decision on whether Brawl Stars will go global. In order to explain why, I'd like to give a little background on how we make games at Supercell. He goes on to say a little bit more about that. He said, so what does that mean for Brawl? Well, right now we're feeling pretty optimistic about Brawl Stars. We're not there yet, but we have some concrete ideas to improve the game, and we want to roll out those before we make any big decisions. Now, personally, I think that's a little bit of a standard, here's your answer, this is what we're going to say. This is what we're toting the company line, right? Because I don't think at this point, it's just hard for me to fathom that this game is not going to go global. I can't imagine the scenario that would happen. I think it's absolutely going to go global, but this is kind of what they have to say, right, Kairos? I mean, what do you think about that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. They've got to be careful. As a company, you can't just promise things and then let down. If they're not 100% sure, 100% certain that this game is going to go global, they just can't say it. And I totally get that, because if they did, then people would spend more money, whatever. I don't know. There's a whole bunch of stuff that would go on there. So they don't want to disappoint us. But the fact that they released it to 3 more countries today, at least to me, means that they're feeling really good about this, and there might be some core mechanics that they aren't 100% on board for, but that they want to polish up before they do release the game. It's kind of interesting because Supercell is known for killing games in the past. There's a lot of games that Supercell that isn't out. If you go to the Reddit post, you watch the YouTube video that they're talking about, they'll talk about several games that they just totally slaughtered because they were like, nope, it's not the best. We want the best, and as you guys know, Supercell really makes the best of the best. To me, Brawl Stars is so much fun, and I don't know about you. I mean, I feel more joy and satisfaction playing Brawl Stars than I did even when playing Clash Royale, which is just insane because I love Clash Royale. I would be shocked if they didn't go global. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm with you. And to one of your points you said there, I skipped over it, but you guys can read this also. I'll put a link down below in the description, linking you directly to this big, huge mega thread. They asked me anything. But one of the things he said in there is that one of our goals is to make games that people will play for years and remember forever. And I mean, if they killed the game tomorrow, which I seriously, like 1,000,000% don't think that's going to happen, I would still remember this game forever because it's amazing. It's an amazing game. And I personally am like, I'm 100% sure it's going global. I mean, I obviously don't work for Supercell, so it doesn't really matter what I think. But the fact that they released it to 3 more countries, and the reason was they want to have more players in here. They want to have more. You'll see later on, they're going to talk about polishing some of the beginning parts of the game. So I think bringing new players into that is going to help them do just that.
Okay, so we've talked about global, and now let's talk about what probably the majority of my comments in all my YouTube videos is Android. When is it coming to Android? Well, it's kind of a complicated matter here. Basically, because of the nature of the APK, this is what Brawl Stars says. Due to the nature of the Android APK, which is the file that you use to actually download the game onto your device, if we try to release it in only one region, it's pretty trivial for the APK to be released worldwide. Basically, the APK or Androids work differently than iOS devices, and for iOS devices, you can keep things pretty secure, but for Android devices, it just gets shared everywhere. I mean, when Clash Royale first came out, I was playing in beta even though I wasn't in Canada, because I was like, oh, the APK's out, let me just grab that really fast. It was a piece of cake. I didn't even have to worry about like Play Store purchasing and credit cards and all of that stuff. I didn't have to worry about that, and that's what they're really worried about here right now. So will they do an Android soft launch before global? It's tough to say. They did that with Clash Royale, but I also kind of see them not being hard pressed to do that a second time. I don't know if they would do that. What do you think, Lex?
Yeah, I think that it would be pretty hard for them to do that because they're right. I mean, an APK file, which is basically the program, how you get it on your phone or your tablet, whatever, it can be spread across the world, and it's just like that. And it's so easy to get onto your device that kind of defeats the whole purpose of staging where you want the game and controlling it. So if they did that, they would have no control over who downloaded and was playing the game. And I know that it really sucks. Believe me, I see all the hashtag Android comments as well, and I feel you. That sucks. I mean, honestly, saying hashtag Android doesn't help anything, but it does make you feel better. So I'm with you.
That's right.
I mean, I look at here. You guys can see my Note 8 right there. I would love to be able to play the game on my phone. It's just not happening, and I don't see it happening because at this point, I think global and Android launch are almost synonymous at this point.
Absolutely.
All right, so next up, the Weekly Brawler. He had a bunch of questions, and we're going to cover most of them right here. This first one was, do you read our concept? How many support messages do you receive daily? And his answer was, yes, we do. The best place to put new concepts is right here on Reddit. Our support team forwards us as many as they can, but the whole dev team checks Reddit pretty regularly. So if you have an idea, post it here for us to see. So we've said this before, is that Reddit is a really cool thing because the dev team, Ryan, they read Reddit all the time. So if you want them to see your comments, your brawler concepts, your new game modes ideas, if you want to see the funny memes of Rumham, this is the place to put it because they check them out.
That's right. In fact, most Supercell games started out with some type of like an online forum that Supercell actually did. They got rid of that and they replaced it with Reddit because they just love how the Reddit format works. So is this the place to go? Absolutely. If you have a suggestion, put it on Reddit. And most likely, as long as the public likes it, then there's a good chance that Brawl Stars is going to read that as well. Next question we have from the Weekly Brawler is, what do you have to say about matchmaking? Brawl Stars says, we're constantly working to improve matchmaking. Game rooms can make it tough. If a 400 trophy brawler is in a game room with a 200 trophy brawler, then it doesn't work perfectly on the end screen. But they are working to try and improve that matchmaking.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and his point there is that if you're in there, if you got 200 trophies on your brawler and you're playing with someone who has 400, 500, and you expect to play somebody at 200, sorry, not going to happen. So just, take that in mind that there are limits to the matchmaking system. Is it the greatest right now? No, because there's a small player pool. But are they working on it? Do they got an eye on it? Are they paying attention that we all want better, fairer matchups? Yes, they are. Rolling right along, he also asked, will all brawlers eventually have skins? And Ryan answered, we hope so. This takes quite a bit of time from our art team, but it's something we'd certainly like to see more of. Now, I've seen tons of really cool skin ideas on Reddit, so you guys keep those coming. But, I mean, I personally, wait, Kairos, who would you like to see a skin on the most? Which one would you like to see?
Okay, so I think it would be absolutely hilarious. I was thinking about this. Jessie. I think it would be so funny if Jessie had like some random skins, because you could like totally pair her up with her turret and like maybe pull from other games or stuff like that. I don't know. It would be super funny. I was also thinking of Bo with like the archer skin or something like that. Like a male archer from Clash Royale or something like that. I don't know. There's so many things that they could do, and it could be absolutely hilarious, but also be really cool. We got like we've got like Colt,
I love Colt's Rockstar skin.
Yeah,
that's probably one of my favorites. Nita as well, but ones that I would like to see that I know I've seen on Reddit here. one that really sticks out in my mind, actually two, and they're both for Spike actually, was a bell pepper and this pumpkin one. They both looked really cool. I think the pumpkin would be better as like a special event around Halloween, but those are really cool.
Bell pepper, that's awesome. Next question, are there any plans on fixing Heist? Their response is, Heist was actually pretty balanced before we made the melee guys speedier. Now we're looking to try and get it optimal again. This is actually an interesting response because I think a lot of people are kind of wanting a Heist rework, but their response is, we're going to try and balance it other ways. So it'll be interesting to see if some of those Heist rework game mode ideas that people post on Reddit will actually be implemented into new game modes. I mean, they haven't said anything about that, but that's just an interesting idea. I guess it looks like they're planning on keeping Heist the way it is.
Yeah, and he said that it was balanced before the melee guys got speedier. Who's using the melee guys in Heist? I don't know about all these secret tips and tricks. All I know is Colt, Crow, Barley. That's the OP team, right? What are these melee guys doing in Heist?
Oh, man. Well, I don't know about you, but a lot of times I just go with the bots and get the gold and then move on to something else.
Probably the most important question here, though, is what are your work days? And he says that his average work day is 9 to 5. They're pretty flexible. No. That's not happening, Ryan. We want you working around the clock, getting Brawl Stars ready.
Hashtag Android.
We want Android. All right, so yeah, okay. All right. No, we get it. 9 to 5. Working 9 to 5. We get it.
That's right. Okay, so this is actually a pretty big question here from Ty Sagar. He says, hi devs, can we expect to get Spectate game feature in the future? This is a big question. This is one of my main concerns. And Brawl Stars responds and says, we are actively working on this now. What? Okay, so that's really exciting.
Yeah.
But he gives us a little bit more information. He says it's a bit more complicated to implement than our other games, which is why it's taken a lot longer. If you take a look at like Boom Beach or Clash Royale or whatever, basically all you have to track is placements, and then once those placements are done, the AI kind of takes over. So all they have to do for spectating is keep track of those placements. But for Brawl Stars, it has to be completely different because you have to pay attention to every little bit of movement. You have to keep track of ammo and things like that. Like there's so much that's going on right there.
6 people at once.
Yeah, with 6 people all at once. I mean, there's so much going on. No AI actually is in the game except for like Jesse's turret and Mita's Baron and a few other things. But yeah.
Yeah, I think it's much more complex than we layman people understand. I mean, I wouldn't begin to understand what it would take to make all this work. One thing that is on my mind, though, is that, and I'm really excited about Spectator mode because obviously that's going to open up the world of esports in a real way, not just the hodgepodge way that we have to do it now, which also you guys should totally watch our 1v1 videos. Plug in the video! Also, but... I totally lost my train of thought, but I'm going to pick it up right here. Is that
sweet?
I'm curious on how they're going to do it. Is it going to be like you scroll through each brawler's vantage point? And if so, that scares me a little bit because you could have people helping certain teammates, or are they going to find some way to combat that so there isn't a kind of a cheating going on? Or I'm not sure. I don't know.
Yeah, that's actually really tough. In other competitive esports and things like that, yeah, you have spectating and it works and it's really good, but people will always be trying to find loopholes and things like that. For those guys that are doing that, I say let them do that and let's just do something that works so we can deal with it. And then on the competitive esports scene, we can let those guys worry about that. I don't know though. I would love a feature where you can choose to scroll between different brawlers. If it's a friendly player, then you can only scroll between your own players. And then maybe if you're hosting a spectating room or something like that, then maybe you can choose to show either side. At least in our 1v1 videos, it's kind of confusing because you'll see my view and it's blue, and then you see Lex's blue view and it's the opposite team, but it's still blue. So it'd be nice to see some different colors and things like that. But I'll let Brawl Stars work on that. Like you said, I mean, I'm a layman man. If there ever was one, I have no idea, but I know what I want.
And we want it now. Okay,
that's
we'll take
right.
it. We don't know what it is, but we want it now.
That's right.
Actually, we'll take it whenever you want to give it to us, Brawl Stars, and we will happily take it because I'm really excited for esports to really take off in a real way when spectating mode hits.
Absolutely.
Daniel27 asks, will there be an update soon? And here's the response, and you may not like it, but the answer is probably not in the immediate future. We're not exactly sure how long our new changes will take since we're still testing exactly what we want to do. We'll give some updates soon as we have better timelines. That being said, it's good to distinguish between updates and balance changes. Updates take significantly longer, usually 2 to 4 months, but balance changes we can do more regularly. A full update is something that you have to download from the App Store, but balance changes, it just downloads whenever you start the game. My takeaway from this, not that it's still, we don't have a timeline on the next update, because I'm okay with waiting and let them make sure that they do it right. But I was reading this and thinking to myself, okay, so if updates are every 2 to 4 months, and we got one in December, that means the next one's going to be in like March-ish or so.
Yeah.
I was thinking that global would probably be in the next big update, and now I'm not so sure. I hope that's not the case, but I mean, I don't know. We don't know when global's going to be. It's just a guess, but I'm thinking that it may not be next update. I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it'll be a lot bigger than we think. Who knows? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, well, reading through this, the way that they're responding through these questions and everything, I probably have to agree with you. I was on the same boat. I was like, yeah, dude, March, global, like it could totally happen. But it sounds like there are some key things, and I don't know what those key things are, but some key aspects to the game that they're not 100% satisfied with. And now, before this most recent update, this most recent big update, there were definitely hardcore issues with as far as like game progression actually goes, and they took some time. It really did take them a lot of time, but they put forward a lot of work and effort, and they came out with an update that totally reworked it and made progression amazing. I don't know about you, but I love the progression of Brawl Stars now.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas before it was really rough. And if they've got these core aspects that they're really wanting to improve, I really just want to say that I at least appreciate them taking the time to make sure that it works well. Now, for those of you guys that aren't able to play because you don't have or you have Android, or you're not in Canada or whatever, or you're not Canadian, you really do want to just wait for this to happen. I know that it sounds rough, but there were core issues with the game that were just making people not enjoy the game. And there's a reason why this is beta testing, and I'm glad that they're ironing those out and making it so that it is going to be a global worthy game that is basically going to take over the world.
Right.
Yeah.
I do. I think this game is going to be massive, like massively huge in terms of the effect on Supercell's games and the community. I think it's going to be just huge, and I know it really sucks waiting, and you feel like it's never going to happen, but and I understand that, but I really do think that if you could just hold out just a little while longer, I think it's all going to be worth it in the end.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. It's going to be awesome. I can't even imagine how big it's going to be. Like, I think it's going to be bigger than Clash Royale. I don't know about you, but
I can absolutely see that. I mean, whether it will or not, I mean, who's to say? But can I see that this game could be vastly bigger than Clash Royale? And that's a huge statement, because Clash Royale is a massive game. But yes, I do think it could be much bigger than Clash Royale. So the next question from Ender45 says, can you describe the new update in 3 words? And the response is, it's kind of mind-blowing. And the answer is, not done yet.
I think the funniest thing is all the people responding to that afterwards. They're like, well played. Oh my gosh, you're so clever. Take my upvote. Best answer yet. Like, seriously. So funny.
That was good. Yeah. All right, so that's going to wrap it up for me and Kairos today. Before we leave, I did just want to make one quick announcement, and that is that we have opened up a new SOAW band, SOAW Storm. So if you didn't previously have enough trophies to get into Man Cave, Rebel, or Esports, we've got a home for you in SOAW Storm. The requirements are pretty low, so go check it out and join those guys over there.
Also, for those of you guys that don't know, I am now officially a part of the SOAW family. That's right, I'm in SOAW Esports with Lex. So if you want to join my own family as well, you can go ahead and join Storm or Man Cave or Rebel or wherever you guys feel like you belong.
Absolutely. So that's going to wrap it up for today with me and Kairos. We appreciate you guys here today. And then as always, until next time, both of us, we will catch you on the flip side. Lex and Kairos, out.
Have you ever considered adding a large type showdown match, maybe a 30-50 one? I think you just gave our server guys a heart attack.
That probably would be pretty intense.
Yeah, it would be way intense. Can you imagine, like... Oh, I would love it. I think it would be so much fun, but it would be really intense.
I'd come in 50th.
Yeah, me too. I'm like...
-300 trophies. Thanks. That was fun.
Hey, somebody subscribed.
Somebody did subscribe. So next up from Daniel, is his name Daniel 27 Oof?
Yep.
Oof. Everybody's saying oof. I'm not going to say it. I refuse. Okay. Next up from Daniel 27, he asks, will there be a... You said it.
Sorry. I had to. His name is Daniel 27 Oof.
Daniel 27 oof. I don't like it when everybody says oof.
He's gonna be watching and he's like, oh, they pushed my name. That's right, man. We pushed your name. It says oof at the end.
All right, the next... I can't even... Okay, stop, John. Okay. All right, so the next question up from Daniel 27. Oof. I had to say that time. Why do you people say oof so much?
Okay, well, I'm going to take over Lex here. He says, will there be an update soon? Their response, Lex?
Oh.
Fail.
He said oof. I can't stop laughing. All right, so the next question from Daniel.
Okay, I promise I won't do it this time. Is that your son in the background?
No, you idiot, that's me.